A couple is trapped in a suburban maze, where every house is identical, the streets never end, and there's no escape. A cuckoo chick hatches in the nest of a small bird. As soon as the other chicks hatch from their eggs, the cuckoo pushes them out of the nest. At school, a young woman finishes a lesson with her students. After class, she steps outside. By a tree, she runs into one of her students, a girl who is deeply upset because the cuckoo chick pushed the other chicks out of the nest, and they died. After the girl leaves, a man, her boyfriend, who works as a gardener at the school, drops down from the tree. He buries the dead birds and playfully says a prayer over their tiny grave. They then head to a real estate agency. When they arrive, they meet an odd agent named Martin. He convinces them that the homes in the Yonder village are perfect for young couples. Without hesitation, he suggests they go see one right away. Though hesitant, they agree to take a look. Following Martin, they arrive at the village, where they find rows of identical greenhouses with perfectly manicured lawns. They stop in front of one of them, and Martin invites them to tour house number 9. Inside, everything is already set up and ready for living, even a nursery prepared for a boy. This surprises them, but the agent explains that this isn't just a temporary home, it's a permanent home. It's the perfect solution for a young couple. He then asks if they have children, and when they reply no, he eerily mimics the girl's response. The man then leads them to the courtyard. After inspecting it, Gemma asks when their neighbors will be moving in. But when they turn around, he's gone. Stepping outside, the couple notices that Martin's car has disappeared. Deciding they've had enough, they try to leave this strange, unsettling place, but no matter which direction they take, they always end up back at house number 9. When the girl checks her phone, she finds there's no signal or internet in the village. As night falls, they find themselves back at the same house, and their car runs out of gas. Stepping out of the car, the teacher calls out for help, but all she hears is silence. They're completely alone in this eerie village. Realizing they have no other choice, they decide to spend the night in the house. In the fridge, they find a basket of strawberries and a bottle of champagne, so they decide to have dinner. But the berries are tasteless. That night, as they lie in bed, Gemma notices the unnerving silence surrounding them, something she's never experienced before. In the morning, the man decides to climb onto the roof and take a look around, but it yields no results. He only sees endless rows of identical rooftops in all directions. Frustrated, Tom suggests they use the sun to guide them and walk across the plots, climbing over fences. Maybe this way they can find a way out. Leaving the car behind, the couple sets off on foot. After some time, when it's almost completely dark, they finally arrive at a house with a light on. Thinking they've finally gotten lucky and found other people, they cautiously enter the house, only to realize they've returned to house number 9. Stepping out onto the road, they spot their car, along with a box nearby. Inside the box are vacuum-sealed food packets. Enraged, Tom throws the contents of the box on the ground, rips off the cardboard lid, and sets it on fire. A minute later, flames engulf the entire house. Tom hopes the fire will attract attention, and they'll be rescued. Sitting on the sidewalk, they watch the fire and eventually fall asleep. When they wake up in the morning, everything around them is shrouded in smoke and fog, and the box is still by the house. When Gemma looks inside, she finds a baby boy and a note that says they must raise the child if they want their freedom. As the fog clears, the couple sees that house number 9 is still in the same spot, completely unharmed. Some time later, they're woken by the now noticeably older boy. Tom and Gemma, clearly not feeling any affection for him, flip him off instead of greeting him. Suddenly, the boy begins to repeat the dialogue of his adoptive parents. Despite his young age, he speaks with a grown man's voice and behaves very strangely. Glancing at him tiredly, Tom calls him a mutant. The boy immediately asks him to measure him. Reluctantly, Gemma agrees, measures his height, and marks it on the wall with the date. The boy is thrilled that he grew taller again in a single day. Barking like a dog, he runs around the house and then calls Gemma Mom. She snaps at him, reminding him that she's not his mother. Suddenly, the boy starts screaming in agony, demanding food immediately. As soon as they finish eating, Tom packs everything into a box and takes it outside. They sit down on the street, waiting for those who bring them the boxes. The boy is spinning around nearby. Gemma feels like he's watching them, and then suggests having a coffee. As she heads into the house, Tom lights a cigarette, flicking the butt onto the lawn. The moment the cigarette hits the grass, it seems to disappear, leaving only the yellow soil exposed. Intrigued, Tom digs but finds not soil, but some yellow sticky substance in clay. Turning around, Gemma notices the box has vanished, even though she didn't see anyone. Meanwhile, Tom continues to dig the hole, desperately trying to find some explanation for what's happening. At night, the couple makes love, and during this moment, the boy stands by the door to their bedroom, watching them. In the morning, after breakfast, Tom heads back to dig, and Gemma starts with the housework. Some time later, the boy turns on the TV and watches a strange video with chaotic, shifting fractal patterns. In the evening, Tom finds Gemma sitting in the car, just inhaling the air and imagining she's home. Suddenly, music starts playing, revealing that the battery hasn't died. Elated, she jumps out of the car and begins dancing, with Tom joining her. After a while, The boy comes outside, watches the adults, and then imitates their movements. At some point, Tom trips over him and falls. Angrily, Tom pushes the boy hard and storms back into the house. While putting the boy to bed, Gemma tries to explain that they can't spend all their time with him, that sometimes adults want to be alone, but he doesn't understand what she's saying. Realizing it's pointless to explain, she turns off the light and leaves the room. The boy immediately starts screaming. Returning to him, Gemma asks him to stop, but he repeats Tom's phrases in response. Calling him a vile little monster, Gemma leaves the room. The next morning, the couple wakes up to the boy's frantic screams. After brushing their teeth, they sit down for breakfast, and then Tom goes back to digging. Digging several meters down, he suddenly hears a strange noise from beneath the earth. That night, Tom wakes up to a strange sound. Going downstairs, they find the boy watching TV again. At first, they try to make him turn off the video and go to bed, but he refuses to listen. Deciding they don't care anymore, the couple goes back to bed. In the morning, the boy screams again, demanding food. Tom's patience is worn thin, and he finally loses it. After smashing a bowl of cereal, he grabs the screaming child, forces him into the car, and locks him inside. He then forbids Gemma from feeding, watering, or playing with the boy, hoping that he will die. If the people who locked them in here care about the child's life, they will come for him. But Gemma refuses to accept this, and a conflict brews between them. Seizing the opportunity, she snatches the keys from Tom's hands and runs to the car. She opens the door, takes the boy, and leads him back to the house. In despair, Tom continues digging. Inside, Gemma tends to the boy, putting him to bed and explaining what dreams are. After a moment of thought, she decides to sleep beside him. The next morning, Tom wakes up in the pit, his health severely deteriorated. He sits alone at the table for breakfast while Gemma and the boy go outside. They look up at the sky, and Gemma realizes that it's artificial, just like everything else around them. The divide between Tom and Gemma deepens. He stops coming home to sleep and spends entire days in his pit. One day, Gemma notices the boy is missing. He's not in the house or outside. After a frantic search, Gemma returns home and spots the boy standing near the pit. She rushes over and sees him holding a book. Flipping through the pages, she finds strange symbols. It's written in a language she doesn't recognize, one that feels alien. Tom spends another night in the pit, his health rapidly declining. Gemma decides to get answers from the boy about the book, but he refuses to tell her anything. She proposes a game, asking him to act out the person he met that day. He agrees, drops to all fours, and begins making horrific, hissing noises. Then, he inflates his throat sacs. Horrified by what she sees, Gemma backs away from the room, tears streaming down her face. As time passes, the boy transforms into a young man. Gemma places food in front of him and wishes him a pleasant meal. She tries to be polite, and he wonders why. After speaking with her, he realizes that she is afraid of him. Tom's health has continued to deteriorate. Gemma brings him food in his room, and they share a meal. She ponders why she didn't let Tom kill the child while he was still small. The next morning, the young man leaves the house, and Gemma decides to follow him, but eventually loses sight of him. Her emotional, mental, and physical state has also sharply declined. Tom descends into his pit, which has now reached several meters in depth, and continues to dig. At one point, he uncovers something. It's the body of a man. Terrified, he scrambles to the surface. Suddenly, he hears Gemma scream and calls out to her in response, but exhaustion takes over, and he collapses onto the asphalt. A frightened Gemma finds him in that state and helps him up, trying to take him home, only to discover that the door is locked. The young man refuses to let them in. The next morning, Gemma wakes up in the car and sees that Tom is in even worse shape. She jumps out of the car, pleading with the young man to let them back inside, but he refuses, telling her that it's time to let him go. After saying this, he walks away, leaving her by Tom's side. That evening, as he smokes a cigarette, he recalls how they met and how happy they were back then. With those words, he dies. In disbelief, Gemma calls out to Tom, her tears falling uncontrollably down her face. That night, the young man arrives with a box. Opening it, Gemma finds a body bag inside. In horror and despair, she watches as he packs Tom into it and then tosses it into the pit Tom had dug. In a fit of panic, she crawls toward the pit and peers down. The next morning, Gemma wakes up in the car and sees that the young man has left the house. Quietly and cautiously, she climbs out of the car, pickaxe in hand. She swings it and strikes his head, but only manages to graze him. Terrified of her, the creature drops to all fours and, making screeching noises, scurries away. Gemma chases after it and watches in shock as it lifts a curb like a blanket, squeezing through the gap it creates. Before the curb can fall back into place, she wedges the pickaxe in and climbs into the opening. Gemma finds herself in a strange corridor. Moments later, she slips downward. As she looks around, she realizes she's in another house, identical to the one she just left, where similar couples are raising the same child. As she moves from one house to the next, she sees adults suffering and despairing, and eventually returns to her own home. Her physical strength has nearly abandoned her, but she somehow manages to rise to her feet and step outside. Staring at the endless rows of identical houses, she cries out in despair and collapses on the path. Meanwhile, the young man is tidying up inside the house, painting over the marks of the child's growth, cleaning the kitchen, adjusting a painting. Exhausted, Gemma weakly asks him why she lived this life. He answers that she is a mother, the one who prepares her son to enter the world, and after completing her mission, she dies. He places the still living Gemma into a body bag. She tells him, weakly, that she and Tom just wanted to have their own home. Laughing, he replies that she's foolish, this was their home, and calls her mother again. With her last strength, she tells him that she is not his mother, and then she dies. He seals the bag and carries her to the pit, tossing her beside Tom before burying them both. As soon as he finishes, the lawn regrows, perfectly restored. The young man leaves the house, gets into Tom and Gemma's car, and drives to the real estate agency. There, he finds an elderly Martin, who is on the verge of death. As soon as the young man receives the badge from him, Martin dies. The young man seals the body in a bag, rolls it up, and disposes of it in a trash chute, disguised as a filing cabinet. Soon, a new couple enters the agency, and the young man greets them just as Martin once did, beginning the cycle anew. Do you think that if they had treated the child differently, they might have had a chance to escape? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, give a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos.